Okay, I'm recording this video after close of trade Tuesday, 12th of October 2010. And an interesting day on the market today. We kind of closed up at 1164.50. Pretty high volume, 1.6 million contracts traded, but in this kind of new world, this is still below kind of the long-term average volume traded after yesterday's kind of very low volume trade with Columbus Day. And starting to see some little kind of cracks in the markets. Let me just show you what I'm looking at in my charts. First of all, just to point out, still not seeing this kind of blow-off volume on better X trend. In order to trail this volume stop up, we need some kind of explosive move to the upside. I mean, potentially we could get it tomorrow. We're kind of breaking out to new highs and so on. But if I look at kind of multi-markets, I'm starting to see some little problems. Also, I've not shown the trend oscillator for an extremely long time, partly because the systems have been in a drawdown, and I hate drawdowns. But anyway, the signals have started to kind of roll in. There tends to be kind of clusters of buy and sell signals the way these kind of systems kind of roll over. So we're starting to see the trend oscillator kind of tick down. It kind of ticked down yesterday, ticked up a fraction today, could get another kind of tick down tomorrow potentially. So just to follow where these swings are going, we kind of closed out a whole bunch of kind of long trades that were entered. I mean, you wouldn't enter 15 contracts over the course of all of these entry points here, but you get the idea. It's a cluster of kind of buy signals that have now rolled over into sell signals. But if I'm just going to show you my kind of multi-markets, just look at those. Gold, let's forget about that, just because we can look at the euro and its proxy for the dollar at the moment. So just bonds. Here's 30-year bonds. We had a few days ago, markets were shut on Monday, so very little activity here on the bond markets. This is a few days prior. I was talking about this kind of exhaustion buying activity Wednesday, Thursday kind of roll over here. Had a whole series of flush signals on the upside kind of here, and I'm going to show you a similar type signal on the downside on Emini today. So you can see there we've had a cyclical turn after that, bearish divergence, and all of a sudden we've kind of broken through one of these support levels. Looks like we've broken down into a downtrend, so might be seeing some weakness in bonds. Copper kind of coming up, testing new highs, but extremely weak buying at these kind of resistance points. Professionals starting to take profits up here at these kind of 380 type levels. Here's euro. I mean, this is a very odd day. A couple of days ago we had all this kind of activity backwards and forwards. I think this was Trichet was speaking or whatever. So pullback, end of trend warning signal, kind of burst through it, had another pullback, and then this was an end of trend warning signal here. It's just kind of printed on top of those bars. We kind of sold off, and that was with extremely weak buying with all these bearish divergence signals here, kind of coming back up to test. But again, the amount of buying that we're seeing at the moment is very weak, and we're underneath this significant, I think now 140 type level. So if we start to see that rolling over, crude, we had kind of all these bearish divergence signals up here, up into 84, kind of pulled back, and this been extremely weak kind of testing back up to these levels. So 81 becomes critical. At this point, are the bulls going to kind of keep on pushing up to 84, or are they going to kind of roll over at 81? And then just looking at the long-term chart of the Emini today, so we kind of had a cyclical low down at 1150. And we're coming up to a cyclical turning point here. Professionals have started to come in at the end of the day and so on. We've had our exhaustion buying, we had our flush signal, we've had bearish divergence signals here, we've pushed to new highs at this point here. We didn't really run very far today when we pushed to those new highs, and all those professionals kind of came in, so not particularly a good sign there. So I'm still waiting on better X trend for some kind of blow-off activity, but really, having said last week or on the weekend that the Wednesday, Thursday picture that I'd started to see in a lot of these other kind of related markets was a significant kind of a turning point in the market. You're starting to see that roll over now, and these markets start to crack and show some weakness. So just show you on the 4500 tip bar chart, just the activity today. We kind of sold off into the morning. There were all kinds of, on the lower time frames, like the 1500 tip bar chart, all kind of exhaustion, selling, bullish divergence signals and so on at this point. And we'd had our exhaustion selling at the end of yesterday, and so I'm always looking for some kind of turning point, and with these bullish divergence signals here, we're making new lows but bullish divergence, and that was kind of the fuel that got this trend kind of going. And now on this time frame we've made an end of trend and a second cyclical turn after end of trend, and each time the professionals here kind of got the uptrend going. They started taking profits here as we made to new highs, coming close to the 1170 levels again, kind of exhaustion buying, professionals kind of taking profits and so on. So I'm starting to see these things kind of roll over. Me personally was not really particularly interested in trading today. Things get extremely quiet after the morning, and I was not around for the morning, so I took a short trade in here to 11:59.50, got out at 11:59.50 just during this kind of garbage up and down. I was hoping that this was going to kind of roll over into a downtrend, but really I was not reading my signals well. For a change in trend we really need to see bearish divergence, an exhaustion selling kind of signal, and professional activity as well as a kind of price exhaustion, and there really wasn't that kind of combination, and that's why this market kind of continued on. And in fact what happened, we kind of broke above the cyclical turning point and kind of rested here, and these are often interesting places to kind of go long again, because resistance turns into support. And what you could see on the 500 tick bar chart around that time period when we were really just stuck in a rut, you can see here we were batting backwards and forwards between a really tight kind of 2-point range. We'd had our exhaustion selling on the downside, and we had all of these flush signals coming in here, and then when we see a little bit of an exhaustion selling signal and then a bullish divergence signal and so on, that's the here we go, that's kind of the fuel that kind of gets this rally going. So that was kind of the best trade for the day. I really wasn't looking for it, and so missed it, and so this was that setup there when you're seeing the market hanging around a previous resistance level that becomes support, and then we see all of those flush signals, and that was the fuel that got us going. But now we've got all of these exhaustion buying signals and professionals on the upside, so I'm going to be looking for weakness tomorrow. Yep, I hope your Emini trading is going well.